are you one of those people that just thinks that you are stuck? I see it time and time again where people are like, this is just my life now. I am just consistently sad, consistently anxious. I can't have what other people have. And I'm just here to tell you, it's not right. And today's whole episode is going to be all about how you can get exactly what you want from life. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sam Morris. I am the host of Whatever Happened to the Gentleman podcast, the podcast for single men and women who have been going through the same relationship cycles and are tired of it. Now, let's get to the episode. So, I've been on holiday, people. I have been away for a long time. It feels like... so we went to Florida and it was just magical. And then we went over to Mexico as well. And unfortunately, I actually got ill in Mexico, but it is what it is. I still had fun. That trip is kind of what has prompted this episode today, because I sat there watching my children interact at Disney World. Anyone that has ever been to Disney World knows that, you know, when they say it's the most magical place on earth, that is true. And I watched my children and I thought, you know what, this is my dream. This is, you know, literally dreams come true. I talk a lot on this podcast about healthy relationships, healthy dating, self-love, self-worth. And I don't think I talk enough about kind of where I was at. So I'm going to take you back. How far? Maybe 15 years. I'll take you back to a different version of me. Most of you know I was severely overweight. Most of you know that I was overweight because I was eating as a comfort because of how sad and lonely and anxious I was. And the thing was, I had my daughter really young, most of you know this, and everyone else my age, they were going out, they were living their best life. And at that time, I thought, my life is never going to get any better than this. I don't have any money because every, minute that I work is paying for childcare, essentially. And bills and all of that. So I started my adult life way before the majority of people start their adult life. I don't regret it for a moment because it made me who I am. But back then, sitting there thinking, my life is never going to be any better than this. I'm never going to be able to be going on these nice holidays. And I remember a group of friends, they went over to Ibiza and I'd have loved to have gone, but the fact that I think at that time people were saying to me, a bottle of water in Ibiza is €6, and I'm thinking, what could I buy for €6 for my child? It just wasn't feasible. And so I remember sitting there and genuinely being like, how do I get out of this? How do I change this? And I didn't know, because everyone around me was the same. All the people that I, were around were all very similar, very little ambition. They went on holiday, and this is not by any means trying to be offensive, but they would only go on holiday in the UK and most of them didn't drive, and that was the people that I was around. Now, this isn't an episode about you are kind of the consequence of the people that you are around. That's a separate episode. But I genuinely didn't think that anything would ever change. And going to Disney World, taking my children to Disney World, was something that was never going to happen for me personally. And I was in a relationship that was very off and on, and not a pleasant relationship. I was very unhappy, and I didn't think that I deserved any better. I didn't believe that there was anything better. But as life develops, as you learn more things start to change. And one of the biggest changes for me was moving workplace and being around other people that were way more disadvantaged than me. And so I'm not telling anyone to go and move work, but if you are kind of feeling like your life is over, or your life is mediocre, going and being around people whose life is quite a bit worse tends to put things into a bit of perspective for you. That could be volunteering. That could be just going into your local city centre where you will see lots of homeless people. But it did get me thinking, and obviously when I then retrained and I started learning about human behaviour and why people behave the way that they behave, it blew my mind that, we are products of what is familiar. So my point earlier about the people that you're around, if you are around people that are on the same level as you, it's very, very difficult for someone to then claw out of that and go to a higher level. And I don't mean like classes of people. I don't believe in any of that stuff. What I mean is, if you are around people that have no ambition, they don't want to move forward, they don't want to earn any more money, they don't have healthy relationships, they are constantly moaning about they can't get dates, or all the people that they date are toxic, that is feeding into who you are as well. I'm here to tell you that time and time again, I've seen this happen. I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with the people on probation that I've worked with that have put in the work, and they've changed their viewpoints and they've changed their behaviour. And then I've seen it with my own coaching clients. And it doesn't even take that long. So today's episode really is about me saying to you, you don't have to stay stuck. You can create the life that you always wanted. If I can go from a girl that grew up on a really bad estate, had a baby at 19 when everyone said that my life was over, that I'd never make anything of myself, be in several toxic relationships, and I was in a financial mess at one point as well. And if I can go from that to the life that I live now, where I am with someone that just supports me every step of the way, I have wonderful children, I live a great life. I own a house. Never thought that would happen. if I can go from that when the odds, you look at statistics, the odds were stacked against me, then you can too. And if you have people that are even in worse situations than I was in, that have been to prison, the odds are really stacked against them and they can change their life, then you can too. You can have whatever you want. You do need to get really clear on some of what that actually is. People will talk about, oh, I really, really want a healthy relationship. I really, really want a loving relationship, or aligned relationship. But what does that actually look like for you? What does that mean? Because my version of a healthy relationship might be very different to your version of a healthy relationship. For example, me and my sister, she was taught, and we have this conversation. We are very different. She talks about these things called pink jobs and blue jobs. And that is essentially like male jobs within the household and female jobs within the household. For her, that is okay. That isn't something that someone has put onto her. That is just her personal views. My personal views, and we've obviously had debates about this, is that there is no such thing as male jobs and female jobs, but that is her relationship and mine is my relationship. So each person's version of a healthy relationship may be slightly different. If you are someone that wants to stay at home with your children when you have them, that's okay. As long as you are financially secure, that's okay. We all have different versions, so we need to realise what we want from that healthy relationship and make a plan. So we are in August now. We're in the 8th month of the year. Some of you listened to my podcast in January. That was, we're going to make this year the best year that we have ever had. And I know, because there was a lot of people that listened to that episode, that a lot of them have fallen off. There's quite a lot of them that have removed themselves from my email list, which may be because they've actually sorted their life out and they don't need to be on my email list anymore, or it may just be that, they have gone in a different direction. What I'm saying is, now is the time. If you have not made any changes, and you were listening to that episode in January, and you haven't made any changes to your life, nothing has changed in 8 months, then now is the time to start to take action. Because if nothing has changed for you in 8 months, you're not taking enough action. What I want to do is I want to take just a minute for you to start to figure out what this life looks like. What this perfect life looks like. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a big, deep breath in. And then a big, deep breath out. And I want you to do this 3 times. I want you to start to picture yourself walking. Walking fast through timelines. We're jumping to a year from now. You're speeding. You're getting faster and faster, going through the months. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all quickly gone past you. And now, as you come to a stop, you see you in a year's time. The you of a year's time is smiling. They're laughing. And I just want you to sit for a moment and listen to what they have to tell you. Once you've got all the information about what your life now looks like in a year's time, I want you to start to rewind and come back to me. Backwards through the months: July, June, May, April, March, February, January, December, November, October, September, all the way back to this point in August. And I want you to take another big, deep breath in and release. Everything that you saw is possible because you've seen it and it's already happened for you. You are strong, you are wonderful, and you can make this happen. Whatever you want in life, you can make that happen. Now open your eyes and come back to me. That very short exercise, you will have seen something. Whatever it was, you've seen it now. You know that it can happen. And so, after this episode, I want you to start planning out how that actually happens. Because that's what you truly want. Whatever you saw is what you want. If you didn't see anything, then do it again. Maybe sit for a little bit longer after this episode. A couple of other things that I just want to give you just to help you get into the mindset of I can have whatever I want. I want you to start your day with gratitude. I know everyone talks about gratitude, but what does that actually mean? It means whatever you want it to mean. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should say to yourself is, I am grateful for waking up. Put your feet down on the carpet, flooring, whatever, as you get out of bed. I am grateful for this floor. I am grateful for having a toothbrush. I am grateful for having running water. Basic things that you are grateful for. And they will start to build on each other, because once you think of one thing that you're grateful for, then something else will pop into your head. When people talk about gratitude, saying about what they're grateful for, a lot of people will really struggle if they're like, oh, I'm grateful for my family. You don't need to go so deep into it. It literally be, I am grateful for being able to listen to a podcast. I am grateful for having the technology to be able to do that. Simple things. But the more that you practice gratitude, the more you start to believe in yourself. It is a little bit magical. The second thing that I advise you to do, and this is something that I do all the time, because life isn't perfect. Life is never going to be perfect. And I would love to tell you that, once you've healed your nervous system and you've attracted the love of your life, that your life is going to be perfect. But that's not true. Things happen. Life happens. Life keeps lifing. So on days when things aren't going well for you, or when, one little thing triggers you off, I want you to say just this one sentence. It's all working out for me in the way that it needs to. It's all working out for me in the way that it needs to. I say this sentence to myself quite a lot. Life isn't always going to go to plan. You can plan out as many things as you like, but things happen like my dad's appendix burst. That was fun. Not, if you can't tell that was sarcasm, I'm sorry. No one planned for that. That is something that you cannot plan for. And in the end, it worked out. He was okay. And it just kind of gave me some sort of realisation that these things can happen. You could get a flat tyre today. So everything is working out the way that it's supposed to work out. It's just that sometimes we get so in our heads with negativity that it destroys any positive vibes that we could give out. So, yes, that is it for today. That was my whole point of the episode, is that anything that you want, you can have. And I don't want anyone to come at me with, no, Sam, I really want a £1 million house and that's never going to happen. Why not? Well, I don't earn enough money, and go make some more money then. Well, it's not as easy as that. I know. I know that. Other than, bringing people back from the dead, anything that you want can happen. So go find out what it is that you want. Go start making plans to make that happen. I believe in you. My name is Sam Morris. I am the host of Whatever Happened to the Gentleman, and I will speak to you very, very soon.